Today I am going to talk about whether or not Amazing Spider-Man 3 will happen, and I'm going to base this off of some things that the fans want and what we've seen so far about different Sony projects and obviously what happened with No Way Home. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content, and I will say spoiler warning if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home yet, and it's been a while, but just in case you haven't watched it so far, spoiler warning just in case you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home. So obviously in Spider-Man No Way Home we got to see the return of the other two Spider-Man, which was Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's versions of Spider-Man from different universes. And because of the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, and because people liked to see Andrew come back, even though, everybody supposedly hated his movies way back when they came out, people have been saying they want to see the Amazing Spider-Man 3 happen. They've also been saying that they want to see Spider-Man 4 happen with Tobey Maguire. Now, I would definitely say the Amazing Spider-Man 3 is much more likely in my opinion. I wouldn't say Spider-Man 4 is off the table, but I just feel like Spider-Man 4 would feel a lot more like a cash grab, in my opinion, and the Amazing Spider-Man 3 wouldn't be like that. It would just feel like you're actually able to conclude Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man story. That's in my personal opinion, at least. So one of the first things that people wanted is people said that they wanted to see Tom Hardy's Venom go up against Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, because we don't know, so to speak, that a Spider-Man exists in Tom Hardy Venom's universe yet. But at the same time, we also kind of do, and this is when you have to kind of examine what we've seen in regards to Morbius so far, right? Because people have kind of been questioning what the hell has been going on with Morbius based on all these trailers and stuff, because we have reference to potentially MCU Spider-Man, we have references to Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we have references to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and we have references to Tom Hardy's Venom. So at the end of the day, it's like, what universe is this taking place in? And obviously we have references to the Vulture, the MCU's Vulture specifically. Now, in my opinion, if we made the conclusion that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the Spider-Man in the Morbius/Venom universe, I feel like that would be what makes the most sense as to what everything we're seeing is and everything like that. The only loose end that it would leave would be Michael Keaton's Vulture being in the Morbius movie. So first, we know from the Morbius trailer that Morbius makes a reference to Venom, and they make references to the events that happened over in San Francisco. So bare minimum, that establishes Morbius to be in the same universe as Venom. So if that's the case, this also establishes Spider-Man to exist already in the same universe as Venom, because Morbius walks by a poster that has what looks like the render of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with murderer written on it. Now, obviously, this is kind of a contradiction in two different aspects. The first contradiction is that it's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man outfit in the poster, and the second contradiction is that it has murderer written on it, which is a reference to MCU Spider-Man after the events of Far From Home. But in my opinion, they could just be using the Tobey Maguire era suit to maybe throw some people off and to get people talking about the movie based on the trailers and stuff like that. And I think it is actually possible that this could be referring to Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man. And I'll circle back around to that, but another reason that it could be the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is because the Oscorp building is seen in the trailer, and it has the same exact Oscorp logo as it had in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, as well as the newspaper clipping that it showed briefly talks about the Rhino and Black Cat, who both exist already in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. So now circling back to the murderer poster, we know from Spider-Man Spider-Man No Way Home, that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man said that after he was unable to save Gwen, he was trying to cope with that type of loss being his fault, basically, and he was unable to pull his punches. So in theory, we could say that while he was still doing Spider-Man activities and he stopped pulling his punches, maybe he accidentally killed somebody out of anger when he was just out fighting crime and stuff like that. And now they kind of see him more as a pariah and not as a hero. So they maybe the society is starting to turn against him because he accidentally murdered somebody and he's still kind of trying to come to terms with what he did. So that could be what the murderer poster refers to. Now, obviously, the last kind of thing that would be unexplained would be Michael Keaton's Vulture being in the movie, but honestly, at this point, I think that they're probably just going to explain that. Either number one, they're just going to cut that from the movie because maybe No Way Home and stuff took the universes a different turn than what they originally wanted to do. Or number two, they're just going to somehow explain that as a Vulture variant and not the Vulture that we know of in the MCU. So we'll see about that. But I definitely think all this evidence points to the fact that we could be getting The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Also coupled with that Andrew Garfield has said that he would be happy to return to the role if it made sense and stuff like that. So, and I know a lot of people have been pushing for them to make The Amazing Spider-Man 3. So I definitely think that it's a real possibility that we could see in the future. But comment down below if you would like to see an Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie where potentially Andrew Garfield goes up against Tom Hardy's Venom. And I appreciate you for watching.